both go all in. No holding anything back. This is what it looks like to go beyond a Super Saiyan God. Let's both do our best.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. We have the showcase on the newly released Goku Exchange Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta unit. I would have done this yesterday, but I was super busy, so we're going to do it today. A unit that I initially wasn't planning on summoning for, but I saw the discounts. I really like the animations. I like the animations a lot. And not to mention, this is a unit where my boy Jeets is eating good. Couldn't help myself, and it ended up working out pretty well. And I also got an extra copy of the androids, which I really shouldn't have bought them with coins at this point, because I would have rainbowed them out and had a spare copy if I'd saved my coins. But yeah, we're gonna be trying them out today. We do have them on their 200% lead. I'm gonna have them on rotation with like an ideal setup, which is pretty much them with this Goku here. And then I'm gonna have them ideally set up once the exchange happens, and I'm gonna keep the friend one unexchanged to show you what they look like perfectly linked up. And then I'm going to show you a little bit more of a realistic rotation on both pre and post exchange of what you could run in Red Zone, which is going to be with Easy A Tech God Goku. So, turn one with just Goku out, we're starting with a 269k attack stat pre-super and 118k defense. That's not a bad starting point for the super attack, especially considering, or the attack specifically, especially considering, of course, Goku is going to stack every time he supers. We just have the entrance animation, so right now they are getting an extra key plus 3, and of course has a built-in additional which has a 50% chance of becoming an additional super for 3 turns, which is going to help Goku stack up a lot quicker. But if you did summon for these, do let me know down in the comments and let me know how you are finding them if you did pull them. But turn 1 ideally linked up 3.2 mil. Obviously, that's not a very good start. As I said, I just love these animations. I love the 1-inch punch. It's so good. But this is where this kicks in. Of course, them stacking, and of course, that built-in additional to help you stack up quickly or quicker before you exchange Goku into Jeets. Now, the only kind of downside about them not starting with the highest attack stat, and also not having a dupe, where within these 3 turns, we could hit 2 additional supers and stack up 3 times in a turn. And again, them starting with only like a 3.2 million attack stat, 55%, even ideally linked up. The downside with that is, when you're in Red Zone, typically what's going to happen is you're going to want to exchange Goku into Blue Vegeta as quick as possible. As soon as that 4th turn comes around and you can exchange, you're going to want to exchange the Goku into Vegeta as soon as that's possible. Unless you maybe want to try risk it, maybe you pop an item, maybe you're still early on, which, I mean, it would only be the 4th turn, so pretty much, yeah. Maybe you're still early on in a Red Zone run, maybe, you know, it's not the hardest hitting phase, maybe they have type advantage, you know, all the kind of the extra factors tying in as to why maybe you would be able to kind of hold off exchanging them as soon as that 4th turn comes around. But typically in Red Zone, you probably want to get that exchange off as quick as possible and immediately as soon as you can. Because, of course, Goku doesn't get any defense on Super. All he gets is the attack and defense plus 150 at the start of turn, the additional attack and defense plus 50% on Super, which is still very good. Defensively, it's okay, but for Red Zone, he can be caught lacking. And then the additional attack and defense plus 25% with each tab performed up to 100%, which of course, that built-in additional for 3 turns is going to help. And of course, if you have dupes, the second additional you could possibly get is going to help you build up that quicker as well. And again, help Goku stack up quicker as well before you get the exchange off. But as I said, during Red Zone, you're probably going to want to exchange him as soon as that 4th turn comes around. So you're a bit more defensively solid, because Vegeta is, especially because he does greatly raise attack and defense on Super. And just basically kind of, you know, kind of decrease that kind of risk of Goku getting clapped with a lot of damage. So he's stacked up twice, and also he's attacked twice. So we're currently got the additional attack and defense plus 50% right now. and we've also stacked. So already he's up to a 645k attack stat, 177k defense. It's okay, but again, it's just in red zone, this wouldn't be enough, and this is why I'm saying, you know, as soon as that 4th turn comes around, you're probably gonna exchange Goku as soon as possible. As soon as you can get the exchange off, you're probably gonna want to get it. And they're up to 4.8, so 2 attacks, 2 build-ups up to 25% each, and 2 stacks, and he's up to 4.8. Another additional 5.6. We're flying now. This is what's gonna happen. Goku's gonna start off relatively slow, but once those additionals are kicking in, again, especially if you have a dupe, that's gonna help you do this quicker and stack up a little bit extra before the exchange, is Goku's attack stat is gonna jump up very quickly. Of course, not only is he getting the additional attack and defense plus 50% on super, so naturally the offense and defense will jump up. But, you know, he's going to be stacking a lot of the times while you've got that built-in additional for 3 turns. He's going to be stacking twice a lot of the time. He's going to build on his passive alongside with it. His super attacking, well, his numbers on super are definitely going to jump up relatively quickly. We're going to leave you 2 unexchanged, just so we can perfectly link up my Goku and Vegeta exchanged with the unexchanged one perfectly linked up. But before we do that, I do want to have a rotation with, actually no, I was gonna say I do want to have a rotation with support for Goku, but typically in red zone that's not something you're gonna see, because in red zone you're probably gonna want to get the exchange off as quick as possible. You may be able to delay it for a turn, and as I said, depending on how many attacks are becoming Goku's way, you know, is he fully built up, do you have an item active, what's, you know, do you have type advantage, type disadvantage, is it neutral, or just in general, if you risk it and the risk ends up paying off, that's probably the only time you're going to delay it. This is why dupes in these 2 would actually be very, very handy. As I said, just getting in it, really, you have to super attack her. I mean, she's going to get an easy A very soon. When the Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover happens, she's going to get an easy A very soon, and hopefully her getting clapped will not happen as much. Okay, this is good. We can get the exchange off, so we're going to pop the animations and see my boy Jeets come in.
Hey, Kakarot!
We'll switch in a little while, okay? Still have some fight left in me.
This has gone on long enough. You promised me we'd take turns.
Okay, okay.
I'm not soft like Kakarot. Say your
Now, if you're wondering why I exchanged them straight away, because I'm pretty sure they had 1 more attack left to have Goku's passive fully built up to that 100%, is again to show you a more realistic scenario of how it would be looking during like red zone, where it really, really matters, where you may actually miss out on that final attack. Again, you may prolong it 1 extra turn if you want to risk it to get that last extra 25% attack and defense, which by all means I would too. But sometimes, and the same thing happened when red zone first dropped and we got the year 7 units, sometimes you don't really have that luxury, and transforming or exchanging a unit is the best bet to go. So, you know, it's not too difficult to work out where he would be sitting with the extra 25% attack and defense, especially because there are calculators out there, but this is kind of realistically what you're going to have to do, especially if they are at 55%. And Jeets is on a 610k attack stat pre-super, 118k defense. It's not bad, but then Jeets does, of course, now randomly change key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres for 3 turns. Again, I don't know why they kept this, like, or didn't keep it, and only limited it to 3 turns. But then Jeets is also getting attack and defense plus 150, which again, I don't know why they didn't up that to like 180, 200%, but still. And of course, he keeps the additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack. And then this is where all the key sphere kind of conditions come in, where we're going to get a 25% crit chance per rainbow key sphere obtained. We get an additional attack and defense plus 100%, literally with just 1 rainbow key sphere obtained. And then the additional defense plus 50% with 3 or more key spheres obtained. So literally we have every single link active right now. I am going to, we'll do 1 more rotation like this. So with 1 missing link, we do kind of go down a little bit. We go to 592k with no with no Saiyan warrior race, we can actually get 3 rainbow key spheres very easy. So we're literally going to have what, a 75% chance to crit. We've got the attack and defense plus 100%, and we're getting the additional defense plus 50% as well. So we're just over a 1.2 million attack stat pre-super, 188k attack stat pre-super as well. And of course, on top of that, my boy Jeets is going to greatly raise his attack and defense for 1 turn as well. And what is he putting out? 5.8 mil. It's all right. It's all right. Of course, you know, unfortunately in Red Zone, you don't really have the luxury of this. Again, you could prolong it by like a turn or 2, depending on how many dupes you have, if you use an item, you know, what units you have surrounding, of course, the Resurrection of F Blues. But, you know, a lot of the time, you know, you're not going to be able to stack up Goku all too much, which is why a dupe would actually help quite a lot with these guys, just to kind of get a few extra stacks in. Again, building up the passive just a little bit quicker so you don't miss that final 25% attack and defense like we have here. But again, as I said, realistically in Red Zone, especially at 55%, you're going to be wanting to get the exchange off probably as quick as possible as soon as the 4th turn hits. So more than likely, you're going to miss out quite a lot of the time, unless you want to try your luck. You're going to be missing out on the additional attack and defense plus 25% to finish off building up Goku's passive. And you won't really be able to get Goku to stack all too much at 55%. You're just going to have to utilize how many additionals and how many times you get him to super attack within those 3 turns that you have the built-in additional 4. So, I mean, again, just under 6 mil isn't too bad. Of course, it can be higher. You can get Vegeta to, like, you can start him off and stack up Goku a bit more and start Vegeta off on a much higher attack stat again. And this is where dupes would really, really help this unit, just to help you stack a lot more and a lot more consistently. But as I said, I wanted it to be a realistic showing. So now we have them pretty much fully linked up apart from the same warrior race, and we have the support as well. So with the support, we have a 657k attack stat pre-super, 137k defense pre-super. We're getting 4 rainbow key spheres, which means we are pretty much, what, guaranteed to crit. We're getting the attack and defense plus 100%. We're getting the defense plus 50%. And again, we're going to greatly raise our attack and defense on super as well. So just over 1.3 mil K attack stat. 1.3 mil K. 1.3 mil attack stat pre-super and 208k pre-super. And actually, to be fair, dupes would actually help Vegeta a bit as well after the exchange, so at least then you can hit an additional, what we're putting out now, 6.3. It's solid, it's okay. A dupe would help here as well, because then Vegeta could greatly raise his attack and defense twice. Of course, then there's the guaranteed crit. This is where Jeets, even if you haven't stacked Goku up loads and loads and loads, which again, realistically in Red Zone, you won't actually get to do. This is where Jeets, as I said, like in the previews and everything that's coming to global, etc. This is why I said Vegeta will. The one thing about Vegeta, even if you don't stack him up too much, one thing about Jeets is because of that crit chance, even after he stops being a rainbow orb changer after the 3rd turn, if you can get a few rainbow key spheres, even just one, which is 25%, if you can get him a few rainbow key spheres, he can actually do quite a bit of actual raw damage to an enemy because of that crit chance. And again, if you have a dupe where you then greatly raise your attack and defense again, of course, he's going to do more damage. More importantly, he's going to be more defensively solid for the turn because he's going to raise his defense by 50% twice. But then he has a chance to crit again. On top of the fact that, you know, you also have the crit chance in his dupe system. So the actual raw damage you can actually do to an enemy, you're looking at 3, 4, maybe even 5 million depending on dupes and having Goku's passive but fully brought up before the exchange. You're looking at between 4 and 5 million on a crit twice. So I said the actual amount of raw damage Jeets can do is actually pretty impressive, even at 55%. So now we have these two, or not these two. Okay, no, we do. We have these two linked up, the exchange and exchange version. We have all links active. We're looking at a 610k attack stat pre-super, 118k defense. We can actually get 3 rainbow key spheres, which means we're going to get, again, the additional attack and defense plus 100%, the additional 50% defense, and we have a 75% chance to crit, which, you know, is more than likely what we're going to be able to do. I think what I'm going to do as well is near the end of the video. I'm actually gonna exchange the friend Goku and Vegeta and show you what it's looking like, where they're kind of like stacked up a bit. And of course, Goku's passive is fully built up as well. But we're looking at 6 mil. Ideally linked up, we're looking at 6 mil. We can see it at the bottom there. With the extra attack and defense plus 25%, I mean, you're probably looking at still under 200k defense, which is, it's okay-ish. And then in terms of what you'd probably see on Super, with the extra 25% attack and defense, I mean, you'll probably be looking at like between 6.2 and 6.4 million, which obviously is a little bit better naturally, because higher number, obviously. But it's nothing insane. You're not missing out on a whole lot, if I'm being completely honest. Let me pop a Yemma again just to be safe, especially because of the Supreme Kai. Don't want her to die or anything. I mean, I hope I actually have time to exchange the other. Really? Do you really feel the need to super attack him? Is that really necessary? Is it really necessary? But yeah, one thing that's going for them, and I mean, this has been true for months now, is movie heroes just stays winning for good units. Are these two like top 5 or anything? No. I think definitely on global, and maybe even still on JP, but I think more so on global. They're definitely within the top 10. You know, they're definitely not top 3. They're really not top 5, but they're definitely within the top 10. They are a pretty decent unit. They're a very solid unit. So the main thing that caught my eye was discounts, and I really like the animations. Not to mention, once you get the exchange off for Jeets is eating good. And you know, I'm a Vegeta fanboy. I need the Jeets units, man. I need the good Jeets units. It's what I need to hold on to. So this is a bit more of a realistic setup if you would like to go in red zone, which is of course you have easy A Tech God Goku, especially if you're facing a movie boss or a pure Saiyan. You have Tech God Goku in slot 1. Of course, tanking up, soaking up all the damage, and then you'll have the Goku exchange Vegeta unit, or once they're exchanged, Vegeta in slot 2. Just so I show you the type of links they're active, because of course, it's not often you're going to have Super God Combat active or Resurrection of F active, so you do miss out on an extra total of attack plus 10% and attack plus 15%. You miss out on attack plus 25%. Let's show you what realistically you're going to be missing out on. In fact, let me also exchange these two as well, because then you can see what it's looking like realistically when they are fully built up and they have a few more stacks off, which again, this is kind of somewhat resemblant if you were to have a dupe in, because again, you can get an extra 2, you can have 2 additionals rather than just the 1. I mean, it may be a little bit exaggerated, but the main thing is to show them off with what when they have the extra attack and defense plus 25%, rather than missing out and exchanging them immediately as soon as the 4th turn hits. So I'm going to leave it like this. So my one has 479 linked up with a more realistic rotation, like with EZA God Goku, and 118k defense pre-super. The friend has 545k attack stat and 118k defense. I'm pretty sure they have 55% as well. Yeah, 55% as well. So they're pretty much, this is exactly what mine would look like as well. Actually, that sticker effect actually looks really good. The blue aura looks so nice. Yes, there's probably like an extra 2 stacks in there, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. But we can actually get all the rainbow key spheres we need to get as well. So 1 million pre-super on attack and 188k defense pre-super. How many rainbow key spheres can we get with the friend? We can actually get 3 rainbow key spheres, so we're getting the full boost on both my exchange Jeets and the friend exchange Jeets. So 4.8 mil. Again, that's without the extra 1 attack and defense plus 25%, and exchanged immediately on turn 4 on a more realistic rotation if you were to run them on main rotation with someone like EZA Tech God Goku. So yeah, I mean, it's not the best, but as I said, this is where a dupe would really help this unit at helping Goku build up his passive, pull the exchange quicker, also stacking a little bit more in like red zone. We don't really have the time to let them pop off and stack further. And then there's the friend one with 5 mil. So if you were to have links like Super God Combat and Resurrection of F active on the friend one who's fully built up and a few extra stacks, I mean, you're probably looking at like, you know, 6 mil, maybe like just under 6 mil, which is okay. It's not the best. And, you know, with support, you know, like probably like just over 6 mil, like 6.4, 6.5, 6, maybe in 6.6 million. It's okay. It's not the best. It's okay. They're a solid unit, don't get me wrong. I do think these guys like took a lot of unnecessary flack Are they top 3, even top 5 unit in the game? No. But they're still a pretty solid unit, but I do think a dupe would help them a lot. And they're surrounded by some very good units. You know, they go in some very good categories. There are a lot of Pure Saiyan 200% leads now. They include one of them. Movie heroes stay winning. You know, you got both the Gammas, Year 7 gods. You have also the Easy A Tech god Goku. You could even float these guys, and I reckon they would actually work really well. Because at least that way, once you get the exchange off, Jeets can super attack. They kind of chill in slot 3. I reckon they would actually be an okay slot 3 unit, especially with the amount of damage Jeets can deal. Not to mention as well, they go on Power Beyond a Super Saiyan, which is the Year 7 God lead as well. So, you know, they are surrounded by some very, very, very good units. You know, Bird Coup being another one, the Year 7 SSJ4s, Easy A's for the SSJ4 units that came during Year 7 as well. Wonder of Parent and Child eventually when LR Vegeta and Trunks come out. They are surrounded by some very good units, and I think if you were to use them, especially at 55%, especially surrounded by those type of units, your best bet is probably having them in slot 3, and having a damage dealer like that in slot 3 is actually pretty good, especially once you get the exchange off and you can get Jeets all the Rainbow Key Spheres, and you're more likely to get that final extra 25% attack and defense built up before the exchange, and potentially get a few more stacks off as well, if it's possible and not too risky. Do let me think down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace!